It's time for the final match of Day 2 from the MLG X Games Invitational. LDLC is taking on Dignitas. Loser will go on to play Fnatic for bronze. Winner plays NIP for the first ever X Games gold medals for Counter-Strike Global Offensive. To kick things off, let's send it to our casters. We got Dignitas and Fifth Laren for our team introductions.
What an unbelievable X Games for Counter-Strike. Yesterday, unpredictable. Today started off pretty much where everyone expected it to be, but that last series, absolutely incredible. NIP move on to the gold medal game, but now we get to find out who they go against. Is it going to be LDLC or Team Dignitas? What do you think? I don't know. Let's take a peek at our teams first and foremost. LDLC. The French teams, they came off of the DreamHack win. They came into this pretty strong. Take us through them for Flaren.
Yeah, so we have actually Smith here. Is there kind of LDLC's primary opper. He can do a little bit of everything. He rifles as well, auto sniper, but he's their go-to guy when it comes to the op.
Absolutely, and alongside him it's Kiyoshima, who's had a fairly strong tournament. In the last couple of games, his entries have been unbelievable.
Yeah, and he's pretty much LDLC's next superstar after Shocks. He's been extremely talented this whole during 2014, and he's one of these players where, again, he's the go-to guy for LDLC when it comes to getting those frags, getting those clutch round situations as well, so he's extremely talented.
Next to him, the strat caller, always sitting in the middle, a name that matches his charismatic personality, Happy. You can see it already, just joking around. He's had a good tournament as well. They've come out pretty strong. Obviously, that one loss to CLG, but other than that, they've looked very good. Yeah,
Happy, like you said as well, he's their in-game leader. He's also their lurker. He does a little bit of everything. Gets those cheap frags, I'm going to say. He's going to send his team on missions, and he's just going to pick up the slack.
And then one of the fan favorites for LDLC, you said it, their sort of superstar player, Shoxy. He's had an up-and-down tournament. He hasn't always been on point, but he's there when they need him. There's no question about it.
Yeah, exactly. Shoxy has always been extremely talented. He's a little bit up and down, but I'm sure during the semifinals today he's going to be on point.
And then, of course, the last player, always outspoken, always in the center of it, NBK, well-known around the world for skill, for personality, for poise.
Yeah, and he's LDLC's most consistent player, I'm going to say. He's always there. He's always going to give you a very... he's kind of like the LDLC's Crims. He's always there. He's one of the better CT players.
Absolutely. So super efficient player at that. So LDLC, winners of DreamHack, took down NIP yesterday, who they have the potential to go against again in the finals for a rematch in a best-of-3. Of course, they're up against a very worthy opponent, Dignitas, under new leadership of Kerrigan. An up-and-down tournament as well. In fact, if anyone, of course, on the day one, when everyone went 1-1, you could say the most consistent team actually was Dignitas because they forced the overtime against NIP on their loss. So let's take a peek at them. Zipnik's going to start things off. What a player. Absolutely an awesome rotator and lurker.
Yeah, and in the beginning of 2014, actually, he used to be kind of Dignitas' star in a way, but he actually transitioned now into kind of like a support role. He's going to try and help out the other star players like Device and Dupree in terms of getting those entry frags.
Alongside him, there he is. Absolutely one of the best on their team, and he needs to be on point again today. It's Dupree.
Yeah, Dignitas entry fragger. Again, I keep on saying this about Dignitas. They're a very CT-sided team. In order for Dignitas to actually get the T rounds that they actually do need, this guy right here needs to be on point with the entry fragging.
Absolutely, and it's going to come all down to that because they aren't necessarily a T-sided team, but under this man, they hope to improve upon that. The new strat caller, there he is, Kerrigan, new over from Mouse Sports just in December. He's had a good leadership so far with Dignitas.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun to see if Kerrigan, again, the new in-game leader instead of Fetish, we're going to see if he can actually get these guys to get to their first final in CSGO.
Yeah, it could be a huge improvement. They definitely want to try and do so, and it might be on the back of this man who now holds the op for them, Device. He's had an ace in this tournament. He's played some good rounds. There's no question about it.
Yeah, and he's the guy that Dignitas will be looking for to be their, kind of like their star player. This is their star player, and I'm hoping that he hears me right now. He better pick up that op more than Kerrigan picks up that op, because they're going to need it.
And the last, but definitely not least, Cajun B. He's been in and out of this team. He left the roster at one point, came back, and he's been strong on his return, and he's going to have to be strong again, of course.
Yeah, and he's Dignitas all-around player. He can pick up the op. He used to be an opera actually back in the day in the stores, and a little bit in the beginning of CSGO. So he can play with the op, but he's mainly the rifler now for the team.
So the question is, can the Danes go through to their first final? They've been in so many semis before. Their T-side's going to have to be on point, not something they're known for, but like I said, Kerrigan bringing a lot more flair, I guess, to that team. We'll see if they can take down the French superstars. To find out a little bit more and in depth about how they plan on doing that, let's talk with Florin and DDK.
This DDK is what should have been the semi-final at DreamHack Winter. LDLC amazingly got out of the Fnatic series. We had Dignitas poised to beat Na'Vi, and they would have met in the semi-finals, okay? But Dignitas choked, and that's kind of the place you have to start when you talk about this series. Because like he said there, Dignitas, despite all this talent, despite some of the best players in the world, some players who, if you go look at the stats on HLTV.org, they'll be right up there, really good ratings, really good frags, headshots, headshot percentage, all the stats you could want. But here's one stat that matters. They've never made a final, an international final, in all of CSGO. Tons of semi-finals, tons of times they've beaten good teams, they've won a map off a big team, but they always fell in the semi-final. So when they brought in this new guy, Kerrigan, they didn't need him to frag, they didn't need him to AWP, they didn't need anything from him except fix our T side. We've got a great CT side. If you fix our T side, maybe we can make our first final. What is your sense of Dignitas? What have you seen so far here? Is this going to be the time?
It's really difficult to say. I mean, Dignitas, like you said, there's so much weight on the history of this team and this lineup, and it's something that when like these chokes happen, this is like an entire area of sports psychology, isn't it? Where
okay, let's get in that in a second. We'll just go through the veto thing. Okay, so LDLC takes away Nuke, Dignitas takes away Overpass, LDLC picks Inferno, the map they beat Fnatic on yesterday. Dignitas has been doing well on Dust 2. Obviously, they pick that. Decider is Cash. Let's go through the maps first. We'll have some time for that. Okay, so Inferno, listen, Fnatic won on it against NiP today. I always say Fnatic's the best overall, but if they're not the best, it's got to be LDLC. And
yeah,
like Happy said in his interview yesterday, he tagged me, he said they are the best on Inferno, and they showed me yesterday. So we'll see if they can show me today. Dignitas like Inferno as well. I actually was looking forward to this series in terms of the maps, because I knew that they would play at least Dust 2 and Inferno. Both teams like those maps. Now, Cash, I don't really know where to go there for Dignitas. I'm not really thinking that they're going to be strong on that map. So you know that's going to be Inferno, it's going to be Dust 2. Can Dignitas win on the first two maps?
Well, this is the thing about LDLC for me, is that LDLC is one of these teams that does actually have really strong T-sides usually. They have pretty much everything to work with. They've got great entry fraggers. They've got...
Are we talking about the same LDLC? They have really strong T-sides.
Well, I believe that. I don't,
okay.
maybe.
Okay, continue there.
Maybe I'm putting on these like rosy, like French tinted glasses that I often have on, but I believe that they're like a good T side. Definitely, their T sides are definitely better than Dignitas.
Sure.
And
absolutely, yeah.
I mean that you can agree with.
No,
so,
yeah, sure.
So there you go. But the thing is that they're talking about Shocks being on point, and this is obviously one of the key players to create the entries and create the opportunities on the T side. And obviously Dignitas, as you're saying, the CT side is going to be so incredibly important for them. So on all of these maps, like the thing about LDLC is they are tactically, I think, a superior team, and strategically as well. Yep. The problem is that Dignitas have amazing individual skill, and they do relax onto their basics. Despite the fact that they have got a new leader, their gameplay hasn't changed too hugely, which is quite interesting. So they're actually still going to be sat quite comfortably on some of the basics that really work for them. So I would expect that this series is all going to be about how well LDLC are able to actually break them, because obviously, as you said, the T sides aren't going to be super good here for Dignitas, and LDLC have a great variety of ways to play on the CT, and this is a team that LDLC would have looked at in the past. They know how Dignitas play.
I mean, that's the thing. Unlike the amazing series we just saw with Fnatic and NiP, where they were sort of breaking the meta and even the dominance of the sides of the maps, going back and forwards on their T sides, breaking back even on ecos. This is a series where it very much looks like it's going to be who wins the most CT rounds.
Right.
That's going to be what decides it. Now, in terms of the Dignitas guys, the guy who you always look at when they choke is Device. Dupree sometimes plays well, sometimes he doesn't do it well. KGB is usually middling. It's always been Device, who never was the guy that we saw earlier on today and that we saw yesterday, just dominating individually. For me, if Dignitas have a chance, when I look at these maps, I think Dust 2 and Inferno are their best chance. I think they have to win 2-0, and I think it has to be Device going huge. He has to be like, we're talking all-star numbers. He has the skill for it. He could do it. It's his mentality. If his mentality is there, they could, but I think it has to be 2-0.
Yeah, actually, there's some interesting factors as well here because LDLC is a team that actually thinks about pressuring economy more than most teams. They'll actually try to take risky buys more than most teams who would, let's say, maybe go for an eco instead. LDLC have so many tricks in their bag. But the thing is that Dignitas are very good at actually adapting to situations like this, because they are individually so skilled. So they're going to be very good at just making these crazy situations work. So I feel like that could be potentially an edge there that they could find over LDLC. And And equally, the thing about Device is actually really interesting because we saw that there was actually a weakness previously with Smith, in fact, in that match against CLG.
On Dust 2,
On Dust 2. And I mean, you know, Smith wasn't playing great, but you have to actually put some of the emphasis there on actually Peter besting him in some of these AWP duels, because you have this like an inherent situation when you have these AWPers who are facing off against each other. Smith usually owns middle on Dust 2. Usually, like, he's the French rammer, he owns it. He has kind of not necessarily like the cleanest AWP. He's a bit like Michael Elliott, the quick draw, just a very fast AWPer. But I think Peter like really knocked his confidence. And then we even saw like in the next match from LDLC earlier today that what they did was they actually took Smith off the AWP, in fact, and he stopped playing what I've seen him do in every single Dust 2. So if a Device is able to actually have enough of an emphasis or an impact on the AWP dueling battle against Smith and actually knocks him off his confidence, this could be another way that they could find an opening, just like CLG did.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a key matchup in terms of Dignitas player going against Device going against a player from LDLC. There's an AWP matchup you can watch. Again, not the two best AWPers in the world, but two people who like to use the AWP when it's going well for them.
Yeah,
now, when they shy away, neither's as good, you know. If I'm going to pick out a player on LDLC who I think has to be strong for LDLC to win, I actually think, just like I said, Dignitas has to win 2-0. I actually think LDLC is going to win 2-0 because I think they're really good on Dust 2. I think they're amazing on Inferno. And who knows, maybe they're going to win this tournament and show me that they are the best team on Inferno. So I think the key player over on the side of LDLC, I'm going to pick Kiyoshima. Because when I saw how Dignitas won their games earlier, I think these two teams, I said this on an earlier pre-game analysis, I said, in terms of man for man, I think that they're the teams that have the most skill spread out. If you look like best player to worst player, very even distribution of skill. So you're going to see a lot of back and forwards, a lot of gunfights, a lot of aim duels. If Kiyoshima plays really well, he can best out like Dupree, he can best out Cajun. So I think he can be the X factor for LDLC that can push them to a 2-0 here. Because I'm going to go with the history of LDLC. I'm going to go with them to win it. Who are you going to quickly give me a prediction?
Overall map prediction or score prediction? Overall maps, I'm going to say 2-0. Actually, for LDLC.
Okay, so we'll take it over to our casters now. It's Fiflaren and Sadakist.
Thank you very much, and we are into it. The last semi-final, the winner, playing for the first ever Counter-Strike X Games Gold. Is it going to be LDLC, or is it going to be Team Dignitas? Dust 2, a good map for both of these guys.
Yeah, but I actually think that LDLC have the edge here. It's one of their better maps, and then the second map coming in is Inferno. Sure, Dignitas is a good team, but I think that LDLC will have them beat us.
We'll have to start off strong again. It's, as Thorn said, whoever gets the most CT rounds, which redundantly translated means whoever gives up the most T rounds. So limiting mistakes is going to be very much a part of this. They are stacking up toward middle on the Dignitas side. Kiyoshima and Smith's over at B. And then a three-man spread at A. Happy on Goose. Shoxy just sitting on the bottom of that ramp, looking toward Catwalk. And MBK out at long. Zipnix is just around the corner from him, but not sure. He may push through here. In fact, he looks like he wants to get all the way through out and try and flank behind them, so that might be the first exchange. And Zipnix is rotating off of it, so if MBK had continued forward, he might have caught him in the back, but they are going to head through middle now as they smoke off onto CT. Keo is going to be the first one to spot him up. He falls back. Smith, though, in window, will get challenged. He's going to take down Cajun B, but Device has responded as he pops out of the tunnels, and they get overwhelmed. The trades are even, but the site is under the control of Dignitas. They will go for that bomb plant, but somehow MBK is going to find Dupree, and now the retake's going to have to be very strong. Zipnix, does take down MBK. So 2-on-2, it continues to tick. Kerrigan over by the window. Zipnix trying to go one-on-one now with Happy. Shoxy's going to try and work in that door. There is a smoke covering it. No, he changes his mind. He's going straight for the window. He knows exactly where the man is down below. Happy gets the best of that kill, and Shoxy finishes off the job. So there it is, LDLC off to a great start.
Yeah, great retake from LDLC. It was actually a pretty good pistol round from Dignitas as well. They bought 2 smokes and a bunch of flashes. They threw the first smoke into B split just to try and get some nades off of LDLC to see if you can actually get a rotate, maybe a cheap kill. Then the second smoke came in. A pretty good execution of the B split. He just couldn't hold the after plant.
Happy's already gone for that from Oz as well. Keo's going to go for the scout, so we're going to see another early scout buy. It's almost exciting to watch. Shoxy going to hold on to the 5-7, so he'll keep money in his wallet. Smiths also went straight for the M4, but Dignitas are going straight for B. Kerrigan leading the way. Actually, he turns off and goes to cover lower with the rest of them just holding station. Zipnix, who did spot the cross, does now join in on this, but Kiyoshima's already in the backside of the site. And Smith and Shoxy are in middle, and Smiths is going to open it up. Kerrigan drops it. Now Kiyoshima with the scout gets tags on 2 of them. And there's his. Smiths come in and just take them down, but he's only got Zipnix. Dupree still alive. He does come through now with the 5-7. He's going to drop Cajun B, and now Dupree falls as well. Device all that's left.
Yeah, not that much to say about that round. They actually tried to fake a B-split, so Kerrigan bought a smoke and a flash through the B-split smoke, and actually had four Dignitas players coming in from the B tunnels instead. The good thing here is LDLC did not lose a single man, which is extremely good for them, since they're on the CT side, they need all the money they can get.
And in response to that first round bomb plant, they will go straight for 5 AKs. But they've got an op and a scout to deal with in Smiths and Shoxy. Looks like Kiyoshima is actually going to be the first to come under threat at B. He gets up close. He's going to smoke it off for himself. Now avoids a flashbang from Dupree. They haven't pushed through on him just yet, though. Kerrigan holding on to that bomb. Goes down toward lower and back into middle. Look at Shoxy. Very aggressive with the AWP toward long. He's just trying to get a shot through onto Zipnix, but he hasn't found it just yet. And I like LDLC's setup. 2 toward middle is very strong, and Smiths almost gets a shot there with that scout.
Yeah, we're going to see it actually. Dignitas actually lining up again to at least gain some control over middle. Might see a flash up mid just to clear the middle area.
Happy's on the better side of that smoke as they come through, and they don't even look towards him. And he has tons of time to line up that shot on Cajun B. So advantage LDLC, and now Happy's also going to take down Device, so the AKs are amounting to nothing right now. But finally, Zipnix will respond as MBK drops. Kerrigan's going to place that bomb intentionally down on Catwalk and try and do battle with Shoxy in toward A, and Happy's rotating around, but Shoxy with the AWP takes down Kerrigan. He's going to come back up. He's trying to do more, but Happy down below gets the other 2 frags, so LDLC holds true on the first gun round.
Yeah, 4 kills from Happy, and you can actually see there, the funny thing is, when LDLC played CLG, they actually knew that Happy was always behind the box in CT spawn. He was there this round as well. Dignitas didn't really seem to have an idea. They even looked at him coming out from the CT spawn, and when they killed the first, I think it was Cajun B actually from Dignitas, didn't even bother looking at him. Ended up with Happy getting 4 kills.
So right back to pistols on Dignitas' side. Kiyoshima Smith's over at B again. They put presence inside the tunnels, but Zipnix has the bomb all the way over toward, well, he's going to drop it off top middle, but over toward A. NBK lurks in that pit. They're still trying to find something, but Kiyoshima doesn't want to allow them any wrap control or any room to work as he gets Cajun B, and although there is one player pushing through middle, Kiyoshima's going to go ahead and take down Kerrigan. Shoxy on the board. NBK with one of his own. Dupree, all that remains, does get one, but he's immediately going to get mopped up as well, so 4-0 now.
Yeah, and it's been 4 rounds, and just by looking, Dignitas in total got 5 frags.
Yeah.
So basically, as of the 4th round, they haven't really done anything as of yet. Again, now we actually, the first round in this game, we actually see Device with the op, which I think is key here.
And he's got 2 ops to go the other way, as Smiths and Shoxy are both going to be holding on to those, so they're staying true to this double op setup, although before it was just a scout because they didn't want to upgrade. Device looking for the peek. Oh, gets lagged up in response. Almost had the shot. As Smiths is back in his home at middle. We talked about how, pardon me, DDK talked about how he lost his confidence against Peter potentially.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see it back here. This is a top-tier game. You always see Smiths, especially on this map. This is usually one of his better maps.
Oh my goodness! Shoxy does get Zipnix, but NBK decides his life isn't worth sticking around. He'd rather watch from the sidelines. He walks right out in front of his teammates, so it remains 4-on-4. Looked like they had an easy one there.
I don't know if Shoxy actually tried to help things a little bit. Yeah, you don't have that many frags. Let me help you out here.
Absolutely, yeah, of course. Here you go, Dignitas. Let's give you a handicap. Happy tries to take it right back, but Device takes him down. Immediate trade up close with that op, and now they're going to try and continue on to Catwalk. Dupree does get Smith, so Kiyoshima and Shoxy are all that left, and they know they've rotated, so now they'll head on their horse, try and get back through these B tunnels and beat them to the punch, because Kiyoshima's actually, interestingly, going to push up on middle. They might come in from behind. No, they are going to split it now. Shoxy's very close, though. I don't think they'll expect him this soon. They haven't gone all the way into the site. They're hesitating, knowing that Kiyo's at the door, and Kiyoshima's going to get the first. Kiyoshima gets the second on Dupree, and Cajun B's not looking towards Shoxy in tunnels at all, so it should be an easy angle for him when he walks out. They'll pinch onto him, and there it is. He does actually manage to get Kiyoshima, but Shoxy in the end stays it and saves the round, so another one on the board, LDLC.
Yeah, and I must admit that whole round was actually Kiyoshima there. Those 2 frags into the B bomb side was key. If he didn't get those, there would be a 3-on-2 bomb down. It would have been very extreme, or it's going to be very difficult for LDLC to actually retake that.
Well, they're playing beautifully on the CT side, and that's exactly what this is going to be all about. Double op again, Smith Shoxy going back to it. Device with his own. We'll see if this time he can get that shot at middle. He tried in the first round. He's got a perfect spawn for it. He's actually going to drop down and change his angle as a result. Doesn't go for the first one, doesn't go for the second. Smiths is there. As always, just taking that late peek down up close to the mid doors. Now MBK over at long. It's going to get at least one pop flash thrown in toward him and a smoke as well, but they aren't pushing through. Now look at this, we got a boost toward middle, one op on the bottom, and Smiths and Happy's up above that smoke, but there's nobody on catwalk just yet for him to find. Although Kerrigan might get spotted just behind that box. They're going to try and get in into him. And Smiths gets the first. Cajun B finally dropping down. There's still another one in middle. He just misses on that shot, but they do still have the one-man advantage. And things slow down just a bit as now they will smoke it off, that bounce smoke off. Onto CT spawn. Happy though, still behind the door. If Dupree wanted to come through, it would be a pretty careless maneuver.
Yeah, and LDLC are doing a really good job in middle here, trying to just keep the mid control away from Dignitas. And they always tend to actually get the entry as well, which is really good for LDLC part.
They've changed it entirely though. For the first time, they're going to try and work it in long. Not before Happy tries to spam away, but MBK gets one, MBK gets two. He's holding beautifully from pit right now. And they can't find anything. They thought because they gave up on middle, they might have an opportunity. Device is still there with the bomb. Dupree's still trying to find Happy at middle, so the one-on-one battles resume, but they're 3 men down on the side of Dignitas. They've got to find an answer soon. MBK's going to change his angle, catches Device off guard, so there's the bomb down, and they will have full control. Dupree's going to at least walk up catwalk, and Shoxy hasn't moved an inch. He's still there to hold it.
Yeah, Dignitas, they really need to step up the game right now. As you can see, they're not really getting anything done. They keep on trying to get that mid control. They don't even get catwalk before they lose their entry, and that is key, especially on this map. You need the cat control so you can control mid, and you have those fast rotates if you want to go B, if you want to B split, if you want to hit A, but they're not just getting it right now.
Well, they'll try again with pistols this time. Dupree lurking alone over by himself at B. And they're going to just rush it right in on long A toward MBK, who's done decent damage with a grenade. He's got a smoke out in front of him, but he finds the first. And he's going to get Happy. Pardon me, that's Happy over on Dupree at B. I thought he popped up a double, but he actually hasn't. He's retreated into pit. He's looking for the support of his teammate, but Kerrigan's going to get the shot on Shoxy. And that means MBK gets overwhelmed as Zipnix will drop in on him. Happy though is on that flank, and they've got low HP directly in front of him. They know he's there though. Zipnix is fully focused on that doorway. As the other two just hold station, hoping that they can find something at long. Smiths and Kiyoshima both there, and Smith's gonna get Cajun B, so now it's 2 pistols and a combined 25 HP, make it only 12 for Zipnix as Kerrigan bows out of the round. Not a bad eco though, they did get 2.
Yeah, and that's more than they've gotten on a regular weapon round, so a little bit better. I would actually like to see if Dignitas can actually try and get cat control here and just drop off one person, go back, fall back, and actually take over long, because they only have one there anyway, and it's MBK. He's always there at long, and the backup from the A bomb set is usually very slow, so you only have to battle one CT player.
And it's 7-0. I mean, look at the money. Shoxy started this round with 5 digits. Kiyoshima doesn't even have to buy. He's still got 10 grand. It's going to take a few rounds if Dignitas want to get back into it. They do have that money bonus working with them, obviously, but they got to make rounds on the board first and foremost. So they continue on with that double op setup. This time Happy switched over to an AK-47. Device needs to get on the board. He needs to find the picks. He's actually falling all the way back outside A, and Dignitas playing very slow here. Finally, they will at least throw one flash over top. They throw a smoke as well onto the corner. That'll prevent them from getting an easy pick, but look at Happy. He's pushed up by the dumpster. He's going to get one. He pops out, make it 2, looking for the 3rd. He does that as well. But Device puts him down. But man, oh man, what a job as he caught them off guard entirely. A good flash off on Shoxy, but he will fall back, and I imagine they're going to boost Kiyoshima up on top. No, they actually choose to put Shoxy up there with that AWP. Device, all that's left, not able to find anything with the AWP so far.
Yeah, that was actually a really good read by LDLC, knowing the round before Dignitas came out with on an eco and actually managed to kill both of the CT players. This round, Dignitas probably, I'm pretty sure the carry went like this in TeamSpeak. Okay, we came out long pretty easily there. Let's just do it on a weapon round. And LDLC knew about it. They put Happy there, which is he's normally there down at CT spawn.
Yeah, great play by him. It was a great read, and like I say, caught them off guard entirely, and with an A1 actually, not a gun that's great for spamming with only 20 bullets, he got 3.
Yeah, no, not at all. That was an amazing spray by Happy.
So what can Dignitas possibly do? Go back to that standard formation with the AWP, and Device is trying to go one-on-one with Smith, but he still hasn't found a kill at that mid position. Kiyoshima over at B, gonna spam toward Dupree inside that smoke and tunnels, and NBK again stationary in pit like he has been in pretty much every round. It's looking the same, it's looking repetitive. Dignitas, what do they need to do?
Well, it's been 8 rounds. They still haven't taken over Cat almost a single round. They take over middle and they take over everything, but they don't have any map control. And you see here, they're actually setting up for a B split round. But without even taking any control, it's not going to be possible.
Yeah, because Happy's still in middle, so even if they want to split, he's going to be there. Smiths is pushed up close, right? Oh, he's going to fall back. I thought he might try and wait it out there. Oh, he actually gets spammed down. In the end, Dupree gets boosted up. That was clever as he saw over top of it. Now Kio's got to rotate back. As he comes inside the site, this might actually be Dignitas' best chance. They have had a plant at this site before, but it was a great retake. This time they're going to have to hold it. They've got all 5 members still alive with full HP to try and do so. Kiyoshima in the window is going to work with Happy to get inside. Shoxy was still over at A, interestingly, but Zipnix is actually on catwalk. He's going to catch out MBK. So that's a rotator down. That helps a lot because LDLC don't have a chance to try and do anything here. Kiyoshima is going to try and at least take down Zipnix. They don't really need to save. They've got lots of money, but that said, this is a semi-final of a pretty big event, and even holding guns just to have that extra money, if they do potentially lose a couple in a row, will help them in the long run.
Yeah, the best thing for LDLC to do is actually try and kill off a few Dignitas players. This is the first round on the board. If LDLC ends up winning the next round, the money will reset. So it's actually really good, really key to actually try and kill off as many T players as possible there, which didn't really happen. But so that was a good, the boost there in tunnel, that was really good. I don't think if they wouldn't have gotten that kill there, the entry onto B, I don't think it would have been possible to actually get the B from Dignitas there.
No, not at all, because it pulled Kiyoshima back out of middle, which left Happy alone as well, so it gave them the strength in numbers. Napoleon, divide and conquer. That's what it's all about when you got to take a site. This time, MBK, or pardon me, LDLC, a little bit of confusion. They passed some guns around in spawn. They were 3 still there as Dignitas was already setting up, but now they're back into position. They got Happy back over toward A this time as well. MBK holding his angle. Shoxy's on Goose. That off as well, looking toward Catwalk. And Dignitas again in middle. They're relying on just opening it up from that position. They haven't been overly successful. Happy's there, and again, he's on that good side of the smoke. He's actually above it on the box. He plays there commonly. CLG said they knew he played there. That was one of the ways they countered him when they came through middle. We'll have to see if Dignitas have that same scouting report and are aware, because he's just sitting there right now uncontested and the smokes are going away. If they don't do something about him soon, he could get a couple quick kills. He's actually going to counter smoke it back. They try and go in on him. He'll go out using that flash. He gets Zipnix already. He turns, he gets Kerrigan, tries to get Cajun B. Not going to be a hat trick, but they've done good work now trying to get through middle. Smith still in B. Device pops up, takes down Kiyoshima, and Smith looks over at that angle. And Dupree, who is waiting patiently inside the B tunnels, will collect him. So now they've got B for a second straight round, and it's a 3-on-2 post plant. A little bit better odds for LDLC, and MBK with the auto sniper is going to at least try and spam in. Kjun B down below. That position is such an underrated spot. You can catch off the window players so much. We've seen it a lot this weekend. Yeah, it's really good actually, because the CTs only see their head, and you can pretty much, if they run in, it's pretty much a free frag. Shoxy at least does get Dupree when he runs away with this AWP, but Dignitas win it back-to-back, and they had to, like you said, that reset in effect. And LDLC, I mentioned they had great economy, but it only would take one more round to potentially break them down to either a force or, if they wanted to, a full save. Yeah, and I think that Dignitas actually found a little bit of an opening there on LDLC, which is B bomb site. The round before, they actually just went 4 into B. This round, they did a B split. It was very slow. Happy even managed to get two entries there, which he did really good, by the way. And then they ended up killing him, going into the B bomb site. So it was a really good round by Dignitas. Device still waiting in middle, looking for that pick he's yet to find. Smiths this time, though, won't have an AWB. They've only gone with the 1 on Shoxy, and Smiths, that means, is inside B. Happy's in window looking to middle, but they don't have a direct man inside that position. And there's only 2 over at A, Shoxy and MBK. And of course, there's no surprise, MBK's pushed up along. Shoxy's actually going to go support him. That's smart, because little do they know, Dignitas are about to run in on them. Dupree's on Cat to try and take that position, but first they've got to win this battle, and Zipnix isn't going to start it off right. Shoxy's going to take down Kerrigan. Cajun B's gonna drop as well, so Device, the only one with a kill, does try and round the corner. MBK using just that USB. He will collect him as well, but the damage has been dealt. They're on to just 2 men. Dupree, though, like I said, had a free access to Catwalk. He's behind Happy. I don't think Happy realizes he's there at all. They're gonna throw the bomb across. That's a wise play. There's a bit of a gap in that smoke, but it's not gonna matter. Dupree gets out uncontested. Kiyoshima spots him though, so now Happy turns around, and all guns will blaze in on A. Watch out, Smith's also flanking on Device right now, and he will easily get him over by car. So Dupree's gonna have to be magical. He gets Kiyoshima, the bomb still ticks away, but Smith's with a beautiful shot from long. LDLC get an easy defuse here.
Yeah, that was actually a good idea by Dignitas. They hit B twice in a row. They figured, okay, let's try and hit A this round from long. And if they actually would have done it a little bit sooner, then it would have only been NBK there on long holding that position. So just a little bit sooner, so Shoxy couldn't rotate on time, then I think that they would have actually survived with a lot more people.
And they will go back to the double op in this round. Having won that, they can afford it again. Kiyoshima with an AK he picked up, and look at Dignitas. They go for 3 AKs, but, oh no, pardon me, Zipnix does have one. That overlay always confusing when he switches back to his pistol, but so they do have guns to work with this time, but again, that money very weak on their side.
Yeah, they actually need this round, otherwise they're going to be forced to save, and I mean, they're down 9-2 already, so they need all the rounds they can get here now.
Smith's getting very aggressive with the AWP at B tunnels. I like this kind of play, and we'll see if he can find Dupree on the stairs, although Dupree's going to fade off that. Trying to support his teammates at middle. He's going to come back up, though, and he's going to have a welcome party, although I think he's aware that based on the timing, they might be there. He tries to flash it off, but Shoxy, meanwhile, over on Catwalk, gets the shot on Device and drops down. Device is not winning these op battles at all.
No, so far he hasn't been doing a good job. This is actually, again, this is the first time actually I've seen Dignitas take over Catwalk.
Happy in that smoke is going to get bailed out by Smiths, but Kerrigan's going to find him. Shoxy over at A has NBK rotating back to support him because they are going to be heading on to Catwalk, so it will be a 3-2 take. Shoxy's actually getting up close here, and oh no, he comes around. Wow, I can't believe he collected that shot. I thought he would be caught off guard. I don't think he knew they were going to be quite so close, and Zipnix trades him out. And NBK, though, holding on from ramp, makes easy work of both Kerrigan and Zipnix, and 10-2, double digits already.
Yeah, and if you just compare LDLC today and how they looked yesterday, this seems like a completely new team. They're playing extremely well. They don't really, Dignitas doesn't really have an answer to how they're playing right now, because LDLC, they're just running around. They're doing, I was going to say LDLC stuff, which is you saw some Smiths there pushing into B tunnels with an op. Great play by him, just taking the map control from the terrorists.
Again, they'll try and group up toward middle. Kiyoshima pushed right side of B up toward the fence. Stay there without being noticed. Well, he actually is going to spam away through the smoke, so that'll give him away, but they aren't heading there at all. They're trying to go for Cat again. You talked about it. They need to take it over. Happy's going to push up and get aggressive on them in response, though. He has chopped the fire down to slow them, and now he gets the first one on Cajun B. He's going to drop Kerrigan as well, switching over to the USP, looking for more. He's not done just yet. Meanwhile, NBK at long will tap away on Zipnix. Happy's up to that hat trick, and he's still looking for more, but Device closes him down. Shoxy will get him as he comes through the smoke, though, so 11 rounds already, LDLC. Thorin called it. It's going to be a very CT-oriented series. It's not looking any different so far.
Yeah, exactly. And only having 2 rounds from Team Dignitas. You see an auto sniper here now on Smith as well, which is his go-to weapon when they have a lot of money. But it's not looking too good right now for Dignitas. They really need these last 2 rounds.
Shoxy's going to push right through middle, as is Happy. Although they will fall back. I thought he might go all the way through into tunnels. They're actually going to rotate over to A very quickly. Zipnix made enough noise for apparently NBK to call for a little bit of support. Device has the bomb over in that area as well. Cajun B and Kerrigan are back toward those mid doors. We've seen them there so many times, but Happy's in his default spot. Again, up on top of the boxes. They try and flash him, but that won't catch him at all. So if they had to walk through, it would have been easy for him, but they think better of it. Fall back just a bit. By the way, NBK's pushed up behind the door at long, so that's going to make that very awkward. And Shoxy actually gets taken down. Finally, Device gets the better of one of those exchanges. That means Happy's going to get pulled out of middle to support that. And Kiyoshima's actually rotated around from B as well, so if they could sell off that 1 kill and control middle, which it looks like they might do. Kerrigan's trying to push through. Smith's in the window, might get caught out. Kiyoshima's rotating back around. They will smoke him off. He's made that call. He knows they're there. And Smith's is now aware as well, so he falls out of the window. There will be no free kill, catching him off guard, but they get him anyway as he tries to come back out. Kerrigan is there, Now Keo inside spawn just can't do anything at all. So the bomb will get planted. They've still got 5 alive. And MBK in the tunnels, as you can see, has Dupree out back towards T-spawn. As soon as he walks by, he'll have to contest with that, as Device will get Kiyoshima, so only 2 left for LDLC here.
Yeah, and they're going to lose it around. And this is exactly what I mean from Dignitas. This is what they should have done starting the T side. Take over catwalk. They even got an entry there because Shoxy always ends up going catwalk with his op if he actually has one. Device managed to get him. And what happens is it causes a rotate from LDLC. You saw there Happy, and both Happy and Kiyoshima just instantly rotated to CT spawn. And then it was super easy for Dignitas to just B-split there because they only had 1 towards B. So this is something they should have picked on sooner.
Yeah, I totally agree. And even though they didn't take catwalk with that kill, you saw what it did to pull the players out of middle. It gave them the option to just walk out. They did it successfully. So 11-3. They do have 3 on the board. We talked CT oriented, so I mean we've been talking up LDLC for a good CT half, but what's enough for Dignitas to do the same in return? How many do they need?
Well, right now they need the last one here as well. 4 rounds isn't nearly enough.
Smith's lurking up and toward tunnels. Will try and get some damage in on Dupree as he comes around the corner, but Dupree just barely gets out before the deadly accurate sights of that AWP lock in on him, although he did see him cross because he's still focused out that direction. He also throw a nade out toward Dupree. Dupree calls in for friends to come around from lower tunnels, but Smiths will find him in the end, and that'll invite them just to fall back. They've got the kill. They've made their job easier going forward. Shoxy's going to make it easier again as now he gets Device. So KGB with the bomb, going to work with Kerrigan. And MBK still at long. He's got the patience of a saint to just wait for Zipnix, who's been there so many times, but Zipnix is actually going to get the kill. So now they can try and split it in on A, and Zipnix is also going to get Shoxy. So Happy's going to have to be absolutely big right now because Kiyoshima is only in CT spawn, isn't there yet to hold the angle. And Happy does actually manage to get Zipnix from long. That smoke gives him a bit of cover to fall back down to the ramp as well. So Kiyoshima's there, and he will get Kerrigan. So KGB suddenly is lonely and without friends. It looked like a round for Dignitas, and Agent B is just going to get spammed away. They're going for jump shots, and Happy closes it out. 12-3 a first half, very dominant from LDLC.
Yeah, they're looking extremely strong, and this is exactly what they needed coming in from yesterday's performance. You saw they're actually Happy. That smoke that he just threw there on the A bomb site, that was key. If he didn't put that, he would have probably gone down from the Dignitas players. They would have had the entire site, but he stayed alive, even got the person at long, which basically meant that they're going to win the round.
So a great start for LDLC, but we talk about Dignitas also being a CT-oriented team. They'll have to do the same in response. Do you think you could see them go for a double-op setup as well?
I believe so. I mean, if Device decides to pick up the op, which he should, it really needs to right now. You can also have KGB or Kerrigan pick up the op as well. But first things first here, they need the pistol round.
Oh, that goes without saying. There's no question. They give that up, we could potentially be on match point before they even get rifles out. So it starts right now. A stark contrast to the first series that we saw, where it was so close in every game. This is pretty much going to come down to map choice and side choice for these two teams, and LDLC had the advantage in this one so far.
Yeah, for sure. And just looking at the maps, that's what I was talking about before. Having both Dust 2 and Inferno for LDLC is an extremely good map pool for them.
They'll take the bomb over toward B with NDK, Kiyoshima, and Shoxy. Happy's just going to lurk in middle and keep them busy. And now Smiths, who scouted out that initial cross, will go join them as well. It's only Kerrigan in the back of sight, although Device and Dupree are in middle. So Happy walks out. He's going to have 2 to contend with, but they're through the tunnels. That smoke's gotten them in. Kerrigan's going to pop out, though. Gets one on Keo. Dupree's there to support. A nice double kill. Both headshots with that USB. And Device joins in on the action now as he gets one with the P2000. So Dignitas do get the pistol that they need, unless, well, let's not jinx it, but I think it's pretty expected that Happy's going to drop down here any second.
Yeah, and from Dignitas part there, for this pistol, they actually were really fast on the road there. I think they had a lot of people on catwalk and CT spawn, so as soon as they hit B, you had all 5 Dignitas players there within seconds.
And Dupree's double kill was huge.
Yeah, that was really big.
Kiyoshima had no line of sight in the back of sight. If he went down, they just would have wrapped onto him. He would have been stuck in the back, and then they had the sight, so huge play for him, and he's going to go straight for an M4, as is Cajun B and Device. Kerrigan going for the spam away, P90, and a FAMAS for Xyp9x.
Yeah, and again here we're going to see the famous pistol buy from LDLC. Again, you never really count LDLC out after losing the pistol, because I'm pretty sure their percentage of winning the ecos the round after is probably above 50%.
It's actually a really good point about them.
And you see actually LDLC, they actually have one smoke, so probably we're going to see a B split.
Well, we very potentially could. NBK is still inside the tunnel. Smiths is just scouting on the catwalk to see what's going on. Happy might take this one-on-one with Cajun B, although I don't think he's going to round the corner. He just wants to see if anyone is there. So we'll see if Device, actually they're heading toward catwalk. So we'll see if Device and Xyp9x are up to the challenge. Hard to say though. There's not a lot of mid-presence, so they could have gone that direction. In fact, NBK is going to push out and realize that if they want to come back off catwalk, they still haven't shown themselves they could do so. Actually, NBK is just going to push through his own smoke on CT and try and come up the ramp. That might catch Xyp9x off as he comes around the corner. He tries to re-aim, and it does because NBK gets him, and now Happy at long gets Device. You talked about how good these guys are on the eco rounds, and man, that was masterful right there as they completely overwhelmed the A site. It's all on Kerrigan with this P90 to come around the corner. He spams away. He's got Dupree behind him. He does get one, but the bomb's already down. And Kiyoshima responds with a kill. So it is a 2-on-2. Make it a 2-on-1. Happy all that's left. He only has the CZ to work with. He's fallen quite a ways back onto catwalk. So they probably should hold this. They do have him flashed off as well. There's no way to peek out. This defuse is going to happen. Oh. He does get the kill. A smart choice. I don't know why Cajun B didn't get that kill sooner. But it doesn't matter, the round's on the board. Yeah, so they basically went for a B split instead. NBK threw the B split smoke and it rushed through the smoke to come from CT spawn, which was extremely nice actually. So they almost won that round. That's what I was talking about. LDLC under eco rounds is extremely dangerous. And we do have a pause because one LDLC player has dropped out of the server, so not sure what's going on with him. Just peeking over. It looks like they got that underway. He should be back in any second. Yeah, it gives Dignitas a little bit of a breather. This is actually pretty good for Dignitas having the LDLC player crash, because they get to talk about, okay, how are we gonna sort out our CT side now? Because we're extremely down. LDLC only needs 4 T rounds in order to get this first map. So Dignitas, they can't really afford to make any mistakes. So they'll hold on to pistols on LDLC's side, despite their best efforts on that eco. They got the bomb down, they got a lot of kills, but they invested so much into the pistol armor that they just didn't have enough to work with. And in fact, they're going to do it again, and why not? LDCZ. Doesn't have the same rhyme, and I have to say it the American way. LDCZ. Yeah, and then you see actually this round as well, they actually have more nades to work with this time. So this one round might actually pay off. Shoxy's naded down to 18 as he tries to push through long, but he gets around onto the dumpster side. Although Xyp9x is still there, but look at them, they're up catwalk. They forced Cajun B back into long, so they can push up and take the site. They can get another quick plant, that'll give them the money, but Device is rotating. He's already got one. Kerrigan's up from CT, but LDLC annihilating them again with these pistols. Device and Dupree, Double D of Team Dignitas here, have to go back into NBK and Smiths. They are pinching one from long, one from catwalk. They are stacked inside the site. That smoke's gonna give them cover, but Dupree's gonna get the first. Smiths responds, might get caught off by FAMAS. He looks for cover, but Device is not to be fooled with that Tech 9. He's a little bit lost in the smoke, but he'll get there. He's got the kit. Yeah, and this is actually hurting Dignitas' economy by a lot. Because it's the second round in a row now. Sure, they win the round, but they only have one person surviving the pistol rounds that the LDLC is pulling here. But then again, for LDLC as well, they're not getting their weapons that they want with the AWP and some AKs. They're going to pretty much force buy again now. This time they will actually have some AKs instead. Their A takes have been amazing coming out of catwalk with the pistols, so we'll see what they can do with some more firearms, although they actually fade off to favor B out of spawn this time. Kiyoshima, Shoxy, and NBK all in that direction. They'll regroup in middle. That's where 3 Dignitas players are as well. 1 indirectly in middle, but 2 over on B if they were to head that route. Device, though, has headed back through CT spawn. And again, there's that momentary rotation where they leave that mid presence wide open, but LDLC is calculated and aren't aware of that read, so they don't take advantage of it in this situation either. They will smoke it off. Now they do go through. Xyp9x is blinded and not able to pop out and cut them down from behind. He does try and spam away, but they haven't gotten in B from tunnels either right now, as dupreeh and Kerrigan are still there. They do close out on Xyp9x, but as I say, Kerrigan inside the site does shut that down, so now they're kind of locked in middle. They try and go backwards, but cajunb's already there. So he's caught out one, and now it's all Dignitas as they just absolutely catch them in their own plan, and there's nowhere for them to try and fall back. 12-7, it is getting a little bit closer now.
Yeah, and I don't really understand what LDLC did there. They threw the B split smoke and they rushed up middle. They had all of mid. They even got the guy from CT spawn, so the rotation from A was actually just cut off. They only had two guys at B. Instead of running into B, they just stood in mid and just got picked apart by Device, and NBK got killed off at B as well. So that was a pretty sloppy play by LDLC.
And they change up their pistol formation this round because they don't go back for that A take from Catwalk. They favor off toward B. Shoxy the only one not there. He's at middle trying to scout away on Kerrigan right now. There's one smoke deployed, now make it a further one now. As dupreeh tries a clever flash up above, he gets pushed up, but he actually fails on the first. Although he does get the kill, and that smoke allows him to fall out of it. Kerrigan's gonna bail him out on Shoxy. Happy does respond with one, but Kerrigan's still alive. Falls out of the site. That bomb was dropped. They do recover it, but what more can they do? They're locked inside B right now, Happy, and now all that is left. LDLC have come so close in so many rounds, but they're giving the rest of these ones away, and before they know it, it's only a 4-round spread.
Yeah, and they're playing very sloppy right now. It feels like they already took the win out in advance. Just keep on buying pistols because they think they're going to win the round. But that's not how you do it. Dignitas is still a very good team, especially on the CT side. You don't want to underestimate them at all. And they just pretty much gave them 4 rounds for free.
So ops out both sides. Smith showing off that he can do what Device failed to do in the first half. Gets that mid pick, so already an advantage now for LDLC. And look at this boost from Device at middle. Xyp9x, meanwhile, takes down Shoxy. That cat boost is going to do damage, and Happy gets caught by it. So a 4-on-3 situation now. NBK trying to get inside B, even it back up. He does so, but Kerrigan still in closet, immediately responds. LDLC still trying to get that mid presence. Kiyoshima pushed up beside the box. KGB knows he's there.
I think I saw him.
Well, he's definitely waiting as if he did. So he's locked down. We'll see if Smiths can make anything out of this, but as he works through double door, Device is pushed up on Cat. Could quickly get behind him as soon as that call's made. So they're going to be surrounded again inside middle. That nade, oh man, right on the feet of Smiths. Max damage against full armor, down to 54, and as Keo comes through, cajunb was still waiting, and again, Kerrigan down below the boxes. We talked about that spot, although he doesn't get him on the way in. Smith's still alive, gonna get the no-scope, not gonna be able to do it. Kerrigan knocks him down.
Yeah, and again, extremely sloppy play by LDLC. Now it's only a 3-round difference, coming in from that great of a CT half from LDLC, and now you just see they're throwing away rounds left and right. Sure, Dignitas are doing a good job. They had a few rounds there when LDLC were on pistols that they almost lost, but they're getting the rounds, they're grinding out the rounds, and again, it's only a 3-round difference here now.
Well, it was 7 straight rounds, or probably 8 straight rounds for LDLC before Dignitas put one on the board in the first half. So far, for Dignitas' defense, they've got 6 straight. LDLC want to do better. They want to get on the board before that. They're going to have to play it in this one. Smiths is only holding on to a P250 as well. As Device and cajunb are both pushed up on long A. And actually, Shoxy's scouting Catwalk right now, and there's nobody home on A, although Device has fallen back on Q. We'll see if he can hold that angle as Shoxy now comes around. That good pop flash. Oh, not able to connect on the first shot. They've got up toward elbow. He changes his angle one more time. They'll flash him off again, and that means he can't do much at all. And he'll fall back all the way out to long to support cajunb right now.
Bomb has been planted.
As the bomb does get planted. And LDLC looks good in terms of HP. But watch that retake as now they will swarm onto the A site. They've already crossed over CT onto the ramp. dupreeh's going to get the first. Device responds into Kiyoshima. Smiths is going to have to do more as he takes down just Xyp9x and immediately gets responded. So it's NBK. He gets one. He's still got 2 more to deal with. It's going to have to be a 1-on-3. He's got 2. He's looking for the third. dupreeh shuts him down. So Dignitas again get away with the round.
really good retake from Dignitas. I actually thought that LDLC would get their first win there. Just Dignitas again, they let LDLC just take the site, and they were pretty confident in the retake, especially when they had that entry frag. It was a 5-on-4. LDLC, sure, they did have the bomb site and they did have the bomb down, but Dignitas is a very good retake team, I'm going to say again, the CT side of the team, and they do well on retakes. That was a good retake right there.
Yeah, we talked about how even in those pistol rounds they gave up A so easily, but you're right, the retakes every time have been so strong. Shoxy takes 2 damage from that nade.
Yeah, and it's only a 2-round deficit now for Dignitas.
Oh, and the momentum's fully in Dignitas' hands at this point too. They know it's possible. LDLC, though, again, working toward Catwalk, and I don't blame them because, again, Cajun B and Device are working together on long A. Device does have that off, but he's pushed even further than he was last round. He might be late falling back this time, although he's starting to do so. In fact, look at this. He's actually going to hold a reverse angle from long up on top of the ledge. Trying to see over top of those smokes, but that flash forces him back. He does see the first shot, not able to connect just yet. He'll pop that flash up above. Try again as Cajun B still busy with Happy, so another bomb plant. Look at that. They haven't lost any HP, and the Smith shuts down Device, so this might be LDLC's best chance. Cajun B from long. Zipnix coming up, though, does get Shoxy. Kiyoshima does kill off that long player, and as they come up the ramp, they're all going to get shut down. Happy on Dupree from middle. Kerrigan at least gets 1 on the board, but there it is. Finally, LDLC on the board in the second half. Only 3 to go. They might be able to squeak through the bonus reset, though.
Yeah, and there you see LDLC. They actually figured out that, okay, Dignitas are playing the A retake. Let's just go push up 4 onto Catwalk and just get the bomb down and just hold the retake. So now this round, it's actually really important for Dignitas to actually swap up how they hold a little bit. Maybe go two towards Catwalk. Just try and catch LDLC off guard.
And a nice shot again from Smiths at middle.
I don't know how many times he's done that during this tournament.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was they played. I think it might have been NIP actually that he had a number of times then they crossed over. As they flash through. Still just waiting. Patiently, so close. Look at this, Cajun B and Shoxy. Smokes off up close, they know he's there, but that's not an invitation to go through. If anything, they'll just sit and wait for that to go away. Kerrigan alone at B, by the way. As Dupree's dropped down, so MBK and Kiyoshima might try and get something going on there. Smiths actually thinks that's going to be the case because he'll fall back with the bomb and just wait for that to happen. Shoxy and Happy have a great opportunity to support this pinch as well onto B if they wanted to walk out in mid right now. Although there still hasn't been a designated call made that's exactly what they want to do. In fact, Happy's still just looking to a Catwalk. Now they'll go. They'll get up close on Kerrigan. They quickly take him down. Cajun B, though, has a great angle as he a bit unorthodoxly pushes past the doors. He's got 2, but he runs out of ammo in that A1. Unable to collect Smiths. He puts him down to 9 HP. So LDLC still with 1-man advantage. Have the B site. Despite the best efforts from Dignitas. And the bomb goes down. Device now coming in with that AWP, will go straight to window. Again, Shoxy right down below. He's going to try and spam away through that smoke. Device outside the door as well. Will get taken down immediately by Smith, so he was just waiting, and Zipnix is going to run away and hide. There's nothing he can do, so 2 straight. They get it back to back. They needed to do so, and only 2 left for LDLC to go up 1-0 in the series.
Yeah, and just look at this now. Dignitas have 0 money, and the reason for that is, yeah, sure, they won 7 straight rounds, but they always they only had 1 or 2 men alive every single round, so they don't even have any money. So they lost 2 rounds in a row here now, and they're completely money starved. They managed to save 1 and 4, but that's pretty much everything they're going to be able to buy.
Saw Device there. Needs to get back on track. His op on T side was... He did have that 1 round where he did get the cat pick, but overall was not what was expected or hoped from on Dignitas' side. Shoxy not, pardon me, Smith's not able to connect that time, although he did try at middle.
Yeah, and you see here this round, Dignitas actually opted to save and go for the tie.
See if it pays off. Shoxy gonna just absolutely take down Kerrigan with ease as he comes through window. Kiyoshima with a second one as they walk in through doors. Dupree was waiting in closet. Look at this, Happy getting clever, comes in like Spider-Man from above and drops down. Catches a wild Cajun B and Device and Zipnix Zipnix might just hold on to this M4 one more time, so
Yeah,
it is
he
going to be
should.
match point.
Yeah, he should just try and hold on to it. Maybe try and get a pick or two, but the most important thing here is just for him to save the gun.
And he does get MBK at least, so more money they have to force, because if they start, if they want to make this comeback and string consecutive rounds together, Economy's going to have to work with them as much as skill. And Device actually collected that AK, so that helps doubly, and now he's going to pop out with it against Smith, but he immediately drops down. Zipnix against Kiyoshima. 2 HP though, he's going to get pursued from behind. And he might catch him. Nope, he's going to get away just enough time as he falls in, and Shoxy guessed where he was correctly, but not able to find him.
Yeah, and if Dignitas wants to, Zipnix can drop an off for any other Dignitas player. I don't know if that's going to happen, but they really should. We'll see a pause here again.
And it's actually LDLC who called the pause, and MBK saying PC problems, so I thought if Dignitas called it, it might have been a tactical pause, because...
Yeah, kind of like we saw on during the NIP game.
That's right.
But yeah, 15-10 to LDLC. It feels like the whole match actually that LDLC has been the better team. They threw away a lot of rounds starting their T side, but overall it's been looking very solid for LDLC.
Yeah, you're right. It could have been over long ago. But a few little positional issues and overcommitments threw those rounds away. Shoxy up in middle again. They try and flash him through, and actually he's just going to take the invitation to get up on catwalk. Device throws a nade and falls back down to the ramp. Doesn't want to take that fight. He can't really be blamed because Shoxy looks strong. He's got 19 on the board. 21 for Smiths, 22 for Happy. In fact, they're all close. MBK is on 17. Keo is only on 12. He's played so well in other games, though. It would be hard and unfair to say that he hasn't done his job.
Yeah, and especially when you have been so dominant on the CT side, the practice really tell its tale some of the times.
Device is about to get very overwhelmed as they are coming in on him. Shoxy's dropped down below. Device gets the turn shot into him, but Shoxy got 2 before that happened, and now MBK is going to get Kerrigan. Somehow Device is still alive in the site. He does get the bomb carrier, but nothing more as he pops out, and Happy and Kiyoshima on match point, trying to close out on just Dupree. They'll do it. So LDLC up 1 already as they try and go forward into another grand final against this time, well, the same as DreamHack, NIP for gold medal at X Games here in Aspen, Colorado.
Yeah, but it's not over yet. We still have 2 more maps to play. Hopefully, next map obviously will be Inferno, which was LDLC's pick actually, and that's a very strong map for LDLC.
Well, again, Thorn's been making mention of it. He considers Fnatic the best team in the world on that map, but LDLC insist that that is their map and that they're better on it, so...
Oh yeah, I mean, they're not a bad team on it, and again, we saw this tournament, they actually managed to beat Fnatic on it as well, but as I was saying yesterday, yeah, sure, you might have bested Fnatic on it, but you still have 1 more team to beat to crown yourself as one of the better Inferno teams in the world, and that would be NIP.
So Dignitas still with T-side issues they've got to address. Kerrigan wants to bring a renewed look to that team. He showed it a little bit in this tournament, but now they've got it all to do. They might bow out and get another semifinal. We'll see if they can address that on Inferno, but first we'll take a short break before we join Thorin and DDK.